Hello, very good morning. Welcome to the Morning Focus with the Mega News at 6 live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. Very good morning. Welcome. But first, the headlines.
EPA bans takeaway packs effective January 2027. In business, food glut crisis pushing farmers into losses, CDM. And on the international front, Nigeria's Tinubu to run for second term after party primary win.
My name is El Samuels. The news is also live across our social media handle on MBN 360. The details of the story. The Environmental Protection Authority, EPA, has announced a nationwide ban on the production of importation, distribution, sale, and use of polyethylene foam products, commonly known as the cyclophone or take-away packs, effective January 1st, 2027.
The directive follows a policy announcement made by President John Dramani Mahama on June 5, 2025, during World Environment Day celebrations, where he outlined the government's intention to phase out styrofoam products as part of measures to tackle plastic pollution and protect the environment. In a statement issued on Monday, May 25, the EPA said the ban will apply to all expanded polystyrene EPS foam products used for both commercial and domestic purposes. These include food packaging containers and takeaway packs, disposable cups and plates, foam packaging used by restaurants, shop bars and food vendors, as well as ceiling and insulation materials, foam mattresses and bedding products, packaging and cushioning materials, and any other polystyrene foam products intended for human use or consumption-related activities. However, the authority indicated that EPS products used for medical, scientific, laboratory, and diagnostic purposes will be exempted subject to regulatory approval. The EPA explained that the policy is part of broader national efforts to improve environmental sanitation, safeguard public health, reduce plastic pollution, and promote sustainable development. It added that the transition period up to the 2027 enforcement date will be used for stakeholder engagement, public education, and technical consultations nationwide. During this period, the authority will also strengthen compliance monitoring, inspections, and enforcement preparedness. Manufacturers, importers, distributors, and users of styrofoam products have been urged to begin shifting towards environmentally friendly, reusable, and recyclable alternatives ahead of the ban. The authority further noted that it will collaborate with metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, port authorities, customs officials, and industry regulators to ensure effective enforcement once the policy takes full effect. The general public is encouraged to support this national environmental protection measure by adopting sustainable consumption practices and environmentally friendly packaging alternatives, the statement added.
In another story, businessman Richie Amakwe has proposed out-of-court settlement with his former wife Joanna Kwe in an attempt to resolve their ongoing divorce dispute and bring finality to the matter.
In a letter dated May 7, 2026, lawyers for Mr. Kwe, Sori and Partners at Law informed Dami and Partners, lawyers for Joanna Kwe, that their client was prepared to make an enhanced financial offer in the interest of peace and family harmony. According to the letter, the proposal was made without prejudice and aimed at promoting the welfare and emotional well-being of the children and both families. The legal team stated that although the High Court had ordered an alimony payment of 300,000 Ghana cedis, Mr. Kwe was proposing to pay an increased amount of 2 million Ghana cedis as part of an amicable settlement. The letter indicated that the businessman was seeking to resolve all outstanding issues between the parties and avoid further conflict. The latest development comes amid an ongoing controversy surrounding the handling of the divorce case. Earlier, Joanna Quay petitioned the Chief Justice and the Judicial Council over the conduct of the trial judge, Justice Justin Dogu. According to the petition filed by her lawyers, the judge issued final orders in the case on January 20, 2026, but the full written judgment was only released on April 20, 2026, after the 3-month appeal period had reportedly expired. Her legal team argued that the delay affected her ability to properly assess and challenge the ruling within the required time frame. The petition also questioned the procedural fairness of the case and called for an investigation into whether any judicial or procedural breaches occurred in the handling of the judgment. The divorce case has drawn public attention in recent months due to disputes over property division, child custody, and maintenance arrangements.
The World Bank has reaffirmed its commitment supporting the government of Ghana to fully operationalize the Wager Pediatric Hospital as soon as possible.
The 120-bed facility was constructed and equipped under the World Bank's COVID-19 Emergency Preparedness and Response Project P173788 at a cost of $10,150,000. The project officially closed on December 16, 2025, after a 6-month extension was granted to allow the completion of key activities delayed by challenges with government counterpart funding. According to the World Bank, some components of the project remained incomplete at the time of closure. These included final installations at the Wager facility and the implementation of selected safety measures required under the World Bank's Environmental and Social Framework for Health Infrastructure Projects. In a statement dated May 25, the World Bank said, post-closure, the government may use undisbursed IDA funds under the project to pay outstanding obligations for IDA-eligible activities until June 16, 2025. The bank explained that the government remains responsible for mobilizing its own resources to complete outstanding environmental and social safeguard requirements, as well as to cover any expenditures deemed ineligible under IDA financing. It added that the full operationalization of the hospital will depend on the completion of the outstanding works and the deployment of the required staff to the facility. The World Bank further noted that it continues to engage with the government to ensure the hospital is completed, staffed, and opened to the public as soon as possible.
Away from the pediatric reopening operationalization, we move to the business desk, where the Center for Democratic Movement has expressed concern over what it describes as a worsening food glut crisis in Ghana, warning that many farmers are suffering heavy losses despite recording a bumper harvest.
Speaking at a press conference in Accra on Monday, May 25, convener of the group, Samuel Doku, said the country's food distribution system is failing farmers, schools, and consumers at the same time. According to him, large quantities of food products including tomatoes, rice, beans, yam, and maize are going to waste in farming communities because producers cannot access reliable markets or storage facilities. Many farmers across Ghana cannot sell their produce despite having bumper crops, while educational institutions and vulnerable communities continue to experience shortages and supply disruptions, he stated. Mr. Doku argued that the development exposes serious weaknesses in Ghana's national food system and agricultural market coordination. This contradiction reflects a major structural failure within the national food system, he said. Farmers are watching maize, tomatoes, rice, beans, yam, and other staples brought at farm gates because there are no reliable markets, no effective storage systems, no guaranteed pricing mechanisms, and inefficient state intervention. He noted that while farmers struggle to dispose of their produce, consumers in urban centers continue to face high food prices. Consumers continue to pay high food prices while schools continue to report shortages. This is not merely an agricultural challenge, it is a governance failure, he stressed. The CDM further warned that the persistent losses are discouraging many farmers from continuing cultivation, with some reportedly selling their farmlands because farming is no longer economically viable. We are particularly concerned that many farmers are now abandoning cultivation due to sustained losses and uncertainty, Mr. Doku said. Some are reportedly selling farmlands because agriculture is no longer economically sustainable for them. He described the trend as a threat to national security and called for urgent government intervention to improve food distribution, storage infrastructure, agro-processing and market access. No nation secures its future by destroying the economic dignity of its farmers, he added. The group also criticized what it described as poor buffer stock management, weak agro-processing development, and inadequate feeder roads, saying these challenges continue to worsen the food glut crisis across several farming communities in the country.
Now, on the international front, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu will be seeking a second and a final four-year term in January after overwhelmingly defeating a little-known challenger during the party's primary. Results showed on Sunday, May 24th.
The ruling All Progressives Congress Party held its presidential primaries on Saturday after a surprise candidate, Stanley Osifo, challenged Tinubu. The president ended up getting nearly 11 million votes against 16,500 for Osifo. Tinubu has won plaudits from foreign investors after rolling out some of Nigeria's boldest reforms, including the removal of fuel and electricity subsidies, ending foreign exchange controls, and overhauling the tax code. The president's chances of re-election were enhanced after an opposition pact to field a single candidate against Tinubu collapsed earlier this month. Tinubu came into office in 2023 after winning against his two main rivals, who unsuccessfully challenged the results in court, alleging that the vote was rigged. Tinubu said he won fairly.
And that's it for this morning's Mega News at 6 live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Nungwa Ajogono. The news was also live across our social media handle on MBN 360, Facebook, YouTube, and X. But before I take leave of you, let's take a second look at the stories making headlines.
EPA bans takeaway packs effective January 2027. In business, food glut crisis pushing farmers into losses, CDM. And on the international front, Nigeria's Tinubu to run for second term after party primary win.
For more news, log on to MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. Sports Update is up next. Stay with us.
MBN, the gospel, news and entertainment.